Senior Moments, sponsored by the Empowering Seniors Group on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Senior Moments Show. My name is Bryce Patton, here along with my wonderful co-host, Sid Roeder. How are you, Sid?
Did you just say wonderful?
I did.
Oh, thank you.
I'm feeling really kind today.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm
Don't
doing
get
great.
used to it. Don't get used to it.
I'll try.
Well, awesome. You know why you're wonderful? Because you always tell us about our sponsor, so I don't have to.
There you go. Do you want me to do that again?
I would love it if you would.
Okay, our sponsor is the Empowering Seniors Group, which is a group of professionals that has dedicated their time and effort to provide information to seniors, their family members, and any individual that cares to listen to us. You can find out more about the Empowering Seniors Group online at empoweringseniors.info, or you can email us at empoweringseniorscv@gmail.com, and the CV stands for Cache Valley. And lastly, if you have any suggestions for this show, anyone you would like to see us invite, you can call me personally at 435-512-6406.
Wonderful. Now, have you gotten any phone calls recently, or do we need to do a call to action here?
Actually, I'm fine, but the last one's been about a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so if anyone's out there, give her a call. Let us know what you want to hear. All right, let's get to our guest. We have a wonderful guest today. Her name's Wendy Farr. She is the Development Director of the Alzheimer's Association. And she was looking at me, making sure I got her title correctly. How are you, Wendy?
I am good. I would never give you a hard time.
Yeah, right.
Never, Bryce.
Never.
Yeah, we've known each other a little while now, so it's kind of fun to have that kind of a back and forth relationship, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Couple
We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
That's it.
Well, awesome. Well, first of all, let's get to what we've got coming up. Let's start off with our big thing coming up.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I'm so glad you were able to slide me into the opportunity to talk about it before it comes. Boy, that's not going well. Before it is upon us already, and that is on September 7th on Saturday at Merlin Olsen Park is our walk to end Alzheimer's, specifically for Cache Valley and all of the northern area. So whether it's Box Elder or Cache, or we even have some people that come down from Franklin, and those are in Idaho on the other side, on the very northern area of Cache Valley. We welcome you and encourage you to come and spend some time with us on that morning on September 7th. It really is the opportunity to celebrate and honor those that we have lost and those that are currently going through dementia, whether it is specific to Alzheimer's or any other dementia, and is that chance to uplift and find resources and to come away feeling like, wow, this is something that we can have be not quite as detrimental as sometimes we allow it to be.
So for someone who's never been to the walk, can you give us a little timeline on what happens during that time?
Yes, absolutely. So we start at 10 o'clock, and as we gather, there's vendors and booths and opportunities for great resources. We'll just highlight one situation that we had last year. Bryce and his organization had the chance to talk to a family member, and I found out 2 days later that this family member, who had never admitted to any of the other family members that things were going on, actually was willing and opened her heart to actually share some of the struggles she'd had, and it really allowed their family to move forward with some good decisions, and with the loved one that they had and where the disease was progressing to. So there's resources available. That's when we arrive. By 10:30, 10:40 or so, we actually do our ceremony, which is very personal and opportunity to highlight everyone's involvement that day. So whether you are the individual with the diagnosis or whether you're the caregiver, someone that you may want to be there to honor because they've already passed away, one thing that we're looking forward to is really highlighting that there is treatments now. We're in an era of treatment, which is very exciting and not what we've been able to say in years past. So that is just that opportunity to come and to gather. Then about 11 o'clock, we actually start walking for those who choose to walk. If you don't want to walk, you don't have to walk. And it's not a race. It's not even a walk. Sometimes it's just a stroll. But it is in solidarity with the other people who've been affected. And we would love to have everyone come and enjoy our party with us.
You had me at stroll. That
I know.
wonderful.
I have so many people who say to me, well, I can't walk that far. Well, that's okay. You don't have to walk at all. We do have a walk route that's about 2.7 miles. We also have a shorter route, which is really just the sidewalk that goes around Merlin Olsen Park. But it's not about the walk. It's not about whatever the exercise is that they are or are not able to do. It's really being present, receiving that support emotionally, as well as, being present with other people. And especially after the pandemic, it's such an important time for us to really appreciate how important it is to be with others, gathering for the same cause.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, if someone wants to show up that day, do they need to? Can they just show up, or do they need to sign up?
They can show up, and we'd be happy to have anybody come who wants to. We do prefer if they can register ahead of time. The best way to do that is the website specific to Cache Valley is act.alz.org, because we are a nonprofit, /Cache Valley. And so that can get them directly to the walk site for this area. Or they can just do alz.org /walk, and then a couple of more clicks, because you click on your state, then you click on the walk in your area, or you could just give me a call too. So or send me an email, and that is any way that we can involve people. We'll take advantage of that.
So, Wendy, one thing we talked about before the show that I wasn't aware of is that last year you had some participation from the USU athletic department.
We did. We had, it was a bit of a surprise, but one of the team captains had a great involvement with some of the athletic departments. And so a few of the students showed up, and ended up being more like 30 or 35. There was a lot of them. Bryce, you were there. You remember they were all over the place. The ladies basketball team, all of them were there, and it was inspiring to see a whole new generation of people who cared and understood. They weren't just there because they were being told to. I was really impressed with them. Well, because of that has snowballed into an even deeper, better relationship with the athletic department. And we already have over 40 students that are planning to volunteer that day, whether it's on the walk route to help direct people, or, we got some who are going to be helping put up tents and tables and things like that. But I have been impressed at how they know that this is something that has impacted their families. It's not just disease that impacts other people. Several of them I had conversations with that they knew, my grandma died from this. Or, they were aware. And now that this is a larger department opportunity is just really exciting.
Super. Wendy, we're already coming up on our first break. Maybe you can really briefly mention again the date and where people can sign up again.
Yes. So Saturday, September 7th at Merlin Olsen Park, 10 a.m. You may, there's so many different ways, but I would say probably the best way, alz.org /walk. That will give you an opportunity to choose your state and then which location's best for you. And they can also use our 800 number, which is 800-272-3900. And the person who picks up that call will be able to help direct them to that.
Thank you, Wendy. This is the Senior Moment Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Tyler. Recently, my father passed away, and White Pine provided the funeral services for our family. They were friendly, thoughtful, and attentive to every detail. It isn't often that a loved one passes away, so it was very important to my family that everything be handled just right. Because my dad was loved by so many people, we had a lot of family and friends that traveled from out of town. I really appreciate how White Pine Funeral Services made sure everyone was comfortable and that the focus was where it needed to be, on my dad and my family. They really took care of us during this tender time.
White Pine Funeral Services, here when you need us most.
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
No problem, sweetie.
I can't believe you're able to fit everything in that little sedan.
Bye!
When they move out, you can move on to a house that fits your life. It's time to live in a space that fits your family.
Hi, this is Sid Roeder with Achievement Realty.
Let me help you to find a home that suits your needs and is less to take care of. Save money or even make money on the sale of your current home. Call me today at 512-6406, then list it, sell it, and move on.
In today's world, we often think it's cheaper to order through the mail, right? In the case of prescriptions, that's not always true. Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram, your locally owned Health Mart pharmacy, is often less expensive than mail order plans. Plus, you can talk to the pharmacist in person or on the phone. Who better to help navigate the confusing world of medicine than the pharmacists at Reed's Pharmacy in Hiram? Reed's trained pharmacists will help you navigate the maze of healthcare. Call 245-DRUG for more information. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
And welcome back to the Senior Moment Show. My name is Bryce Patton here with Sid Roeder, and we've been speaking with Wendy Farr from the Alzheimer's Association about their upcoming walk. Wendy, we were talking in the break and just wanted to know what kind of things does the Alzheimer's Association do? What's their focus?
There's many different things that we do focus on a full spectrum. There's a lot to do with research. There is a lot to do with the science community as a whole as well. But what affects, I think, those of your listeners is that we really provide the support and the services that are going to help them along this journey, regardless of who it is that may have the diagnosis. How can they travel along this pathway with a little bit more grace, understanding, and definitely some better education to know how to handle it the way that they choose is best for them and for their family. So what I try to explain to people is I cannot erase the journey for them. If I could wave that magic wand, that would be awesome. But I can sweep the pebbles out of their pathway and make the pathway a little bit smoother. There are some things that as family members and caregivers we get really worked up about that we feel are like so important, like why is she wearing the blue sweater again? Like why I keep hiding it and she keeps wearing the blue sweater. Anyone who works in the senior care industry knows it's not about the sweater, but we get so caught up on some of the things that are not important and just inconsequential. It just doesn't matter. They're insignificant things. And so by helping sweep away those things out of their pathway, they can really focus on the important things, save up their energy for the things that make a difference, and that the pathway is not going to be removed, but it is going to make it more manageable. And that's not a one-time opportunity either. They can continue to come back. They can call our 800 number 24/7, and that's for anyone. It's not just for a family member, but you and I have talked many times about, having had caregivers and had that kind of a home care scenario. It's for professionals too. So it's for them as well if they have questions. The variety of what we can do to serve them is really based on what they're willing to be open to.
And that actually leads me right to, before the show, you told us a darling story about the phone number that doesn't, even though it's advertised, that people are not aware of it.
They are not. There's two things that irritate me the most with this job. And the first thing is, I wish I'd known about you guys 2 years ago when I was dealing with this with my husband. Like, we're here. We've been around for 40 years. And then the second thing is when people go, if I ever got that, I wouldn't want to keep living. And both of those show us that we're not giving that positive acknowledgement that there is help, there is resources. We are here and available. It really is just making sure people know that they're not doing this alone.
See, and I love that, not doing this alone. One of the things that I think is super beneficial is the support groups.
Absolutely.
And that's, you get to see that, hey, other people are going through the same thing as they might be. And you guys just had a cool development to be able to serve more people.
That's right. We have. We're constantly looking at different populations that we may not be serving as well as we would like to. And one area that we've been struggling with is trying to serve those who are Spanish speaking. And there's one aspect, it's one thing to have Spanish materials available, which we have had for decades, but to have someone who actually speaks Spanish to be the teacher of that class or the one who is the facilitator over the support group is a significant improvement for them to feel like this is someone who understands. They're going to be able to have better conversations about what their needs might be. It's really important about them seeing their own situations and cultural representation for them. And so we now have that for Cache Valley. So we have someone who is our community educator who speaks Spanish, and she's able to teach the class in Spanish along with the materials as well.
Hey, so with those support groups and the lessons, is there a place where we can find when those are held for our listeners out there?
Yeah, the best way to do that would be our 800 number because that information is available to them, and that way you can get that information regardless. And particularly if you're a caregiver, sometimes your time frames that you're available are not going to be the normal time frames like an 8 to 5. So they have access to all of our dates and support groups as well as all of our education classes as well. And so again, that number is 800-272-3900. Something we also talked about earlier, I think it's important to highlight, is each person is at a different place with the acknowledgement of what this disease and the impact on them and their family. So if they are comfortable with the support group, awesome. That would be amazing. We will take them and do whatever we can to provide that opportunity for them. But they may not be at that point yet. They may just want to talk to somebody on the 800 number. So that's available for them too. They may want to go to a class and actually have an in-person educational opportunity to learn more in depth about what the disease is and what it isn't. We have those available here as well. So really, regardless of where each person is with the journey, whether it's the one with the diagnosis or a caregiver within the family or within the community as a whole, we have available options for them at whatever comfort level they are currently at.
And I think one of the things you haven't mentioned yet is that if you can't attend in person, you also have?
We have virtual class options as well. One of the things when you're a caregiver is that your schedule is really based on what your loved one can allow you to sometimes do and be able to get out of the house. So if you can't attend in person, there are several virtual options that are available across all of our chapter here in Utah. I would say, though, that for the most part, the greatest benefit from being in a support group is the consistency with the same people as often as possible. But and it's not, we do have facilitators, but it is peer supported. And so this isn't someone just talking at you. This is another family, someone who has also been a caregiver, and you learn things from each other and sharing the real life options and available, just how-tos on certain things. And everyone loves the life hacks, right, that we read, and see all over Facebook and all of our other social media. These are some real life hacks for those who are caregivers from other caregivers.
I sure appreciate that. We're running up on our second break here, Wendy, so I'm going to give you another chance to mention the website and the phone number.
Yeah, so it's alz.org. And on the website, you're going to find all kinds of things with additional training and research and articles that you can read on your own at your leisure. The 800 number is that 800-272-3900.
Thank you, Wendy. This is the Senior Moments Show. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know that one of the greatest threats to our quality of life is a fall? 1/3 of Americans 65 and older, and 1/2 of those over 80 will fall this year. Many will never be the same again, and some will never return to their homes. This is Bruce at Comfort Care. One of the ways we can help people stay in their home is through our free in-home fall protection survey. Let us help you identify these fall risks. Call us at 754-7676. Comfort Care, 754-7676.
Did you know 1 in 3 people will visit a nursing home? Did you know that once there, they will stay there for an average of 3 years? Did you also know there are insurance options that can help cover this experience? Hi, I'm Tracy Ferris with Blue Water Health Insurance. It's not cheap to stay in a full-fledged nursing home. Long-term care insurance can help you or a loved one get the care they need and deserve. If you wait until you need it, you may be too late. Give me a call at 435-890-8155.
At Maple Springs Senior Living in North Logan, we understand that entrusting the care of your loved one to someone else is a decision not taken lightly. That's why we go above and beyond to create a nurturing environment where your family becomes our family.
When I found Maple Springs, it was like a weight lifted off my shoulders. The staff here really cares, and Mom is thriving.
The activities and social events have brought so much joy to Dad's life. I can see a positive change every time I visit.
We know that your loved one's well-being is your top priority, and it's ours too. Learn more at maplesprings.living.com.
And welcome back to the Senior Moments Show. My name is Bryce Patton, here with Sid Roeder and our guest Wendy Farr from the Alzheimer's Association. And during our break, we were talking about some of the cool events that go on, and you were just telling us about the international convention that you had. Can you tell us, our audience, a little more about that and what it entails?
Yes, I'm so glad to get to talk about this. The Alzheimer's Association International Conference happens towards the end of the summer every year. And this year it was the last week of July and into the first week of August. And this is where we gather like 10,000 different scientists from all over the world. And I believe it was like 108 different countries. So one of the unique things about what we can do as far as funding and research is that, and just so your listeners know this, we are the 3rd largest funder of all research behind the United States government and the Chinese government. But we are the largest nonprofit funder of all research. And what that does is it allows us the freedom to not have to worry about some of the federal regulations that might be limiting on some aspects of where we could do funding. And so that allows us the opportunity to do more of the lifestyle type studies and learning more about, there's parts in the world where people don't get dementia. Wow, we should really probably find out more about them, right? That's an important community that we should probably be talking to. So the conference was just, again, a couple of weeks ago, and there were definitely pharmacological conversations that were happening and studies that were presented. There were a lot of lifestyle studies as well. But I believe we currently have like $450 million currently in a funding state, and for 56 different countries.
Wow.
And what we're trying to do is really get an overall view of what is having an impact, and even the situations where we don't we don't know what's happening. At least then we can also process of elimination, also be able to redivert more resources to other areas. There's the old saying that Thomas Edison said, "No, I didn't have all these failures. I found all these other ways how not to make an incandescent light bulb," right? Well, that's such an important aspect to understand in the scientific world. But we also have other great things that we are learning and we're discovering, particularly in lifestyle and healthy habits, which previously it's like, yes, we all know we should be eating healthier. Yes, we should have better exercising habits. But this last January, we actually came out with our most newest research that we do as educational class. And so, again, using the 800 number, you'd be able to find an opportunity that we're teaching the class or contacting myself I'd be able to hook you up with an opportunity for doing that. But it's called 10 Healthy Habits. And instead of looking at it in don't do this, don't do that, these are the things that we know now scientifically are the top 10 preventative habits that can actually increase your chances of living a more healthy lifestyle long term. And those are really important to know that there's things that we can do, we can control. Just because your mother had dementia or your grandmother doesn't mean you can't have some control and be able to feel on a daily basis that you're doing something to improve your chances and to feel better about your personal situation.
So if you had to give us a brief sum up on what those things are, Wendy, for our listeners, what are the 10 rules there?
Well, there's a couple of them that are obvious. Wear a helmet. Get moving. Obviously, have some good exercise habits. It didn't matter what it was, just that you're doing something. And that if you have variety, you're probably going to stick with it a little bit more. What we didn't expect was that the research showed that specifically there are some things with these habits we can have that really have a bigger impact than what we realized. And that is if you have high blood pressure, which is often genetic. So people ask me about the genetic component with dementia. Well, sometimes it's these other factors. So if your family has high blood pressure, making sure that you are keeping it monitored and under control. Same thing with diabetes. You've got to keep it managed, as well as getting adequate sleep. When we sleep, our brains have opportunity to start fresh, be able to remove some of those amyloid plaques. And if we are skipping out on sleep and not getting good habits regularly, that's going to have an impact. And eating more healthy and maintaining a healthy weight. So 7 out of the 10 are all health-related things that we can all do. Even though it seems overwhelming, I know that there are things that I can improve on and that we all need to improve on. But I think tackling one thing at a time.
Thank you, Wendy. We're already coming up on the end of our show here in a hurry, so I would like to give you one last chance to mention the phone number and the website.
Yeah, so it's 800-272-3900. Our website is alz.org. Also, along with that, if you wanted to add a / and walk, you would be able to get registered for the walk, which is on Saturday, September 7th. We are going to be at Merlin Olsen Park. It's going to be 2 hours out of your day, but you'll walk away, literally walk away with an uplifted, more positive outlook for not just your own personal situation, but for all those that may be in your neighborhood and community as well.
Thank you so much, Wendy, for coming in. We've learned a lot, and I hope people get a chance to go to the walk. This is the Senior Moments Show. We hope you tune in again next week.